Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how I made this evergreen embossed Christmas card with lots of little detail down here. So pop that to one side. I'll show you the supplies you'll need. So half a piece of A4 cardstock. I tend to cut mine so they open this way, but however you choose. A piece of smoky slate cardstock, which measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8, and I've gone ahead and I've embossed this one, and you can choose which side you use. They both come out really nicely, so either embossed or debossed, whichever side. Leave that one there. And then a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which I've also embossed here, and this one measures, just trying to find it on my notes, 2 by 5 5/8. So if I show you the embossing folder here, I'll just show you how the bits that I used. I mean, obviously you can use any, but with the smoky slate, I popped it in this end here, sort of fairly near the edge, ran that one through, so you can see it's quite a way down here, so you get most of the design. And then with this one, so I could kind of continue the pattern, I chose, that's upside down, these 3 trees here, so nearish the edge, lined it up so I got most of this tree in, and then popped that one through as well, so it almost continues on from where this one leaves off. Not essential, but I quite liked that. I've also used the Brush Metallics cardstock. I've got 2 strips here. This is the lightest kind of gold color. And this is cut, or both of these are cut at 1/2 inch by 5 5/8. And then you'll also need some of the slightly darker gold, and we're going to cut the some of the little sprigs for the wreath in those. So that's most of the supplies you need. I'll show you the other ones as we go through, but that's all the kind of layers for now. So go ahead and stick your embossed sheet on here. Now this is one of my December class by post projects, so if you have ordered one of those, this will already be embossed for you. Obviously you could use different background embossing folders if you didn't have this one. I'm going to go quite near the edge at the bottom here because it tends to lift up where the embossing is if you don't quite catch that, but obviously you don't want your glue coming out either. So pop this layer on, and I like using the liquid glue for that, because if it's not quite in the right place you can move it around. Hold that down. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for the embossed layers to stick because obviously they don't have the whole width to grip. Some of it's raised. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach these strips onto the edge of here before we stick the white one down. So you want to have, these should be the same length, so you want to put your glue on the foil, but not too far over, because obviously we don't want that splurging out. You can have as much or as little showing as you like. I just wanted a little strip. If it's not quite the same length, just trim afterwards. So, oops, I'm just going to slide that up a little bit. That's the beauty of using the liquid glue, because you have a couple of seconds to move it before it sticks, and when it sticks it really does. Okay, so again, glue on this one. Nearly went too far over, not quite. You can see this one's still peeling up. It's partly because of the foil, partly because embossed layers take a bit longer to stick, like I said. So oops, I don't seem to be able to get that where I want it quite. There we go. So you will take your time in letting this stick down properly, but just for the video I'm going to go ahead. Just bear in mind, don't do what I did there and get glue on the foil, because it it kind of does tarnish it a bit on there, so try not to do that. I think I just had some on my finger. Okay, so quite a lot of glue on there. Mine isn't quite stuck, but yeah, so I'm going to stick this slightly offset to one side. I didn't want it right in the middle. There we go. You can always move it across further if you want to really make it look deliberate that we haven't just stuck it there. I'm using these gold rings, gold hoops. They're in the main catalogue. I think you get 8 in a pack, either 8 or 10. It might be 10 actually, 10 I think. So really good value. So I'm going to stick that on with a glue dots. So I'm going to put, because these are going to be covered, I'm going to put a couple under here. So I didn't need to flip that over really, did I? Same on both sides. I think that's just habit. You can roll up the glue dots if you want to, but it's these are going to be covered up anyway. So, whoops! As long as it's stuck down, I haven't stuck one at the top, but you could do. But we're going to add the twine. So there we go. That's stuck down. Actually, I might move that up a little bit. It's actually quite easy to move if it's not quite where you want it to be. Just be careful you don't rip the cardstock underneath. What you could do if you wanted to really make sure that that's not going to go anywhere, you could put a little tear and tape over the top. It will hopefully stay in place with the glue dots, but you can always, because this will just tape right over there. So actually that might be a better way to make sure it's secure, and then you can peel that off and it just peel the backing off, it just won't show underneath. Make sure you're only getting the backing. Hopefully my head's not in the camera here. My camera just said low battery, so my phone, so I'm hoping that you haven't missed any of that. If you did there, I've just put some tear and tape over there, taken the backing off. Now, in your kit, you will have some sprigs here that I cut from the poinsettia vellum, the flock vellum. So I've gone ahead and cut one here because you don't want to see me cutting for too long, but you're just going to fussy cut. So basically around the flocked area, just you can take your time doing this. I'm just going to whiz round just to show you it's not as tricky as it looks. And do you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just because we want to get that that little flock shape out. So I'm just going to finish off this one. So 2 of these you need. It's from one of the, it's quite a big sheet. So these, actually, now we've got that down, either put glue dots down or use the tape that you've already got there. That one's upside down, I think. No, it's not. Okay, so layer these ones first. I'm going to put a glue dot a bit further down because my tape's quite high up there. Put one down here. Lots of things are going to layer on here, so it doesn't matter if it's still showing slightly. So I spread those out slightly at the bottom. From the Snowflake Splendor Suite, I've also cut these 2 here. This one's in champagne foil and this one's just whisper white. And actually, as I said, we're going to punch 2 sprigs from this gold here. So this is the Sprig Punch. Whoops, I've got it caught. You can see I've been cutting lots for, I'm just going to get rid of that, lots for my class kits. So just slide that in. So we want 2 just going to turn it around that way to make it easier to hold. Now on my original card I actually put these underneath, I've just noticed underneath these two, so if you should be able to just peel these off. It's from one of the, it's quite a big sheet. So these actually, now we've got that down, either put glue dots down or use the tape that you've already got there. That one's upside down, I think. No, it's not. Okay, so layer these ones first. I'm going to put a glue dot a bit further down because my tape's quite high up there. Put one down here. Lots of things are going to layer on here, so it doesn't matter if it's still showing slightly. So I spread those out slightly at the bottom. From the Snowflake Splendor Suite, I've also cut these two here. This one's in champagne foil and this one's just Whisper White. And actually, as I said, we're going to punch 2 sprigs from this gold here. So this is the Sprig Punch. Whoops, I've got it caught. You can see I've been cutting lots for, I'm just going to get rid of that, lots for my class kits. So just slide that in. So we want 2. I'm just going to turn it around that way to make it easier to hold. Now on my original card I actually put these underneath, I've just noticed underneath these two, so if you should be able to just peel these off. There we go. I tend to do my videos quite a while after I've designed my cards, so I'm really sorry if I forget which order I've done things in and stuff. It's probably not very professional, is it? Here we go. So this time we'll get it right. 2 sprigs on here, so I'm just popping a glue dot underneath the base of each of these. Whoops, spread these out a little bit. Then pop the vellum cutouts on top. So again, just going to pop a glue dot on there. It's probably easier to stick it to this bit. And you can decide how far out these come. But I just really like the way this all layered up and the look afterwards. So that one on there. And then the 2 snowflakes. Again, I really like white on white. So that was my thinking for this design there. And then, in fact, the initial card that I designed was all white on white, but I felt it needed a bit of colour as well. So go ahead and attach these. You could use a little mini dimensional under there if you wanted to raise it up a bit. I'm just going to pop a glue dot, and this centerpiece won't show at all, so pop that where you want that to go. And then again, I'm just going to put a glue dot under the center of this one and then just offset that one, and it just looks really lovely, just all layered up like that, I think. The twine I've used comes in a set of 2. It's the Forever Greenery Trim Combo Pack. It's this lovely gold one. I've got a bit of a tip for you here because it does fray really quite badly if you're not careful. So I always tie a knot, there we go, see over there, in the end before I cut it. And actually I'm just going to measure this. So I used about 6.5 inches of twine, but before I cut that I'm just going to tie a knot. Let's just measure this again. So that's at about 6.5. So I've tied a knot at this end as well, one there, and then I'm going to tie a knot next to it, and this will stop the next bit of twine fraying. So I've popped 2 knots there. Can you see those 2? I don't know if you can very well. There we go, 2 knots. And I'm just going to snip between them so that when I come to use this again, it hasn't all unraveled and wasted half my twine, because that's what's happened a few times, to be honest. And I forget every time, and you can see already this end is fraying. So yeah, that's just a little tip so that you don't lose your twine. Okay, so I've just tied a bow here doing bunny ears, or you can tie a regular bow. Let's try and do a regular one. Doesn't always work on camera, so just do a loop here and then come round, put this bit through. Oh no. Loop. Maybe I need to start further down here. Here we go. The trick is that we don't want the ends to come through. So obviously you can see that's not great, but you just hold the center knot and then pull the ends, and that will give you your smaller bow, and then just pull that tight. And I actually really like the small loops and the bigger ends, but have it however you want to do it. With the glue dot, just give it a little kind of roll over like this. You're kind of rolling it into a ball so that not too much of it's showing under here, under this knot, and then pop that. Oops, that's rolled back a bit. Pop that on there. How gorgeous is that? And then we're just going to finish them off with some of these little gold glitter enamel dots. I haven't used these before, but I've had them for a while, so I thought gold at Christmas, perfect. Okay, so mine of my supply has gone down quite a lot because I have included them in the kit, as I said. So just going to put let's see if I can hook it up with this. It might be too heavy. Let's use this end. So one of these bigger ones here, and then the smaller one, again, if you have the kit, it'll be in the just up here. And then I finished off just with a small sentiment. You don't have to put one on at all. It looks great, I think, as it is, but I just wanted to finish that off, and I'm going to show you how I did these flag ends as well. So I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock and a piece of basic grey cardstock, and they both measure, let's see, actually I'm just going to measure it because I can't see on my notes. So quarter of an inch by 1.5 inches, and I've used 'Tis the Season stamp from the Itty Bitty Greetings stamp set, and Smoky Slate ink. Now sometimes it's quite tricky if you've got a really small stamp to see where you're stamping, or a really small piece of cardstock actually, so I'm just going to put it on there just so I can see. And I don't want to get my head in the camera, so I'm just kind of guessing a little bit, see if I've got that in the right place. That's absolutely fine, I'm happy with that. Okay, so with the flag ends, which I'll do over here because you might be able to see on this red background a bit better. So I'm just going to come in and snip up the middle at one end, not too far in, and then I'm going to come on this corner up to that center point, and again this corner up to the center point. There we go. So that's your little flag end. And then do the same at this end. You can make your label smaller if you want to by just trimming a bit off before you do this. And then what I did, just to kind of make these the same, I've just held them together and then trimmed the end again of the basic grey. But you could just, you know, cut them freehand again. There we go. And actually I didn't quite get to the corners, so I'm just going to snip a little bit more off just to make them an actual point. Cool. And then because I wanted to offset them, I'm just going to pop a glue dot in the middle of the basic grey, and then layer this on top, and then flip it over, another glue dot. Actually, you could put a couple on the back of this one. And pop it on the top of your card. Again, you could do it more centrally. I'm just going to offset it to the side, and there we go. There's your Forever Green embossed Christmas card. See you soon. Bye.